Gap between two doses of Covishield vaccine extended from 6 to 8 weeks to 12 to 16 weeks, based on recommendation of COVID working group, basing the decision on the available real-life evidence, particularly from the UK. DCGI approves Phase 2 and Phase 3 clinical trial of Covaxin in the age group of 12 to 18 years. Bharat Biotech to conduct trials on 525 healthy volunteers. A total of 216 crore doses of different COVID-19 vaccines to be manufactured in India between August and December. Sputnik V vaccine likely to be available in the markets next week. E-Sanjeevani extends service to over 50 lakh patients. 1,500 doctors serve patients remotely through the National Telemedicine Service. Few states work towards rolling out special home isolation OPDs. India's cumulative vaccination coverage exceeds 17.72 crore doses. Over 34 lakh beneficiaries of the age group of 18 to 44 vaccinated so far. More than 18.94 lakh vaccine doses administered in the last 24 hours. International aid continues to pour in to India. Indonesia sends 200 oxygen concentrators. Germany, Greece and Finland extend medical aid to India. 1,200 oxygen cylinders arrive from the UK. Tension escalates in Israel-Gaza violence. At least 65 people in Gaza, 7 in Israel killed in clashes as they intensify. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu vows to end the clashes between Arabs and Jews. US President Joe Biden shows solidarity with Israel, tells Netanyahu Israel has the right to defend itself. And in sports, India retains the top spot in the ICC Test team rankings. Virat Kohli's men are closely followed by their World Test Championship final opponents, New Zealand, with a rating of 120. India has a rating of 121. Namaskar and welcome to the news. My name is Mark Lynn. Here's our top story. The COVID working group chaired by Dr. N.K. Arora has recommended the extension of the gap between the first and the second doses of Covishield vaccine to 12 to 16 weeks. The present gap between the two doses of Covishield vaccine is 6 to 8 weeks. Based on the available real-life evidence, particularly from the UK, the COVID-19 working group agreed to increase the dosage interval to 12 to 16 weeks between two doses of Covishield vaccine. There's no change in the interval of Covaxin, which is the other vaccine that is being administered in India. Those doses are as per recommendations after 28 days. The Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare also accepted this recommendation of the COVID working group for the extension of the gap between the first and the second doses of Covishield vaccine to 12 to 16 weeks. The Union Health Minister, Dr. Vardhan, today interacted with health ministers of 6 high-burden states and union territories. He did so via video conference, and he reviewed the COVID-19 situation and the progress of the vaccination drive. In his remarks, Dr. Vardhan said that Maharashtra, Rajasthan, Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Karnataka and Delhi too, they have been witnessing a rapid surge in daily COVID-19 cases. He said test, track, treat and the COVID-appropriate behavior is a must to defeat this pandemic. The Union Minister said expanding infrastructure, strengthening manpower, these things are important in the fight against COVID-19. He urged states to have a focused approach, a focused activity on the second dose vaccination for people above 45 years of age who are yet to get it.
When we look at the data, we find that there is a significant gap between the numbers of people who have received the first dose and numbers where the people have received the second dose. So there has to be a focused activity in the next couple of weeks to ensure that everyone who got the first dose, he also gets the second dose.
The government has said that it is important to break the chain of transmission through physical distancing. The government urged the people infected with COVID-19 to isolate themselves to contain the spread of the infection.
जब एक स्थाई पर गवर्नमेंट के लेवल पर हम लोग मेडिकल इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर अपग्रेड करने का काम कर रहे हैं, सबसे ज्यादा जरूरी है हम चेन ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन को फिजिकल डिस्टेंसिंग के थ्रू तोड़ें, जिसके विषय में मैं आप लोगों के सामने लाना चाहूंगा कि अगर एक आदमी पॉजिटिव है और वह अपने आप को प्रॉपरली आइसोलेट नहीं करता तो वह अपने संपर्क में आने वाले सभी आदमियों को पॉजिटिव करता जाता है और यह एक चेन के रूप में आगे बढ़ता रहता है, जिसमें कि 1 से 2, 2 से 4, 4 से 8 और इससे करके 8 से 16 और 32 एक पर्टिकुलर एक्सपोनेंशियल फॉर्म में यह इन्फेक्शन स्प्रेड हो रहा है। तो क्या जरूरत है, क्या हम करें कि जिससे हम इस इन्फेक्शन के स्प्रेड होने को रोक सकें। हम आपसे हमेशा इस विषय में रिक्वेस्ट करते आए हैं, सबकी नॉलेज में लाते लाए हैं और पिछले 1 साल से देश में हर नागरिक ने हमें सपोर्ट दिया है कि हम इस पर काम करते हुए रहें। लेकिन क्योंकि कुछ हद तक जैसे केस पॉजिटिविटी बढ़ रही है और साथ ही हाइयर स्प्रेड ऑफ इन्फेक्शन नोट किया जा रहा है, तो हमारी आप सबसे विनती है, सबसे रिक्वेस्ट है कि इस प्रोसेस को हम बिल्कुल ना भूलें। हमें चेन ऑफ ट्रांसमिशन को तोड़ना है, तो जो पॉजिटिव पेशेंट है वह प्रॉपर्ली आइसोलेट हो।
Addressing a press briefing in New Delhi today on the COVID-19 situation across the country, the Joint Secretary in the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Love Agarwal, also said that the COVID-19 recovery has been increasing since May 3rd vis-a-vis active cases, adding that there has been a reduction in overall case positivity in the last 3 days across the country.
3 मई से रिकवरी जो है वह बढ़ती जा रही है और विज़ावी द केसेस जो हमारे एक्टिव केसेस जो हमारे देश में रिपोर्ट होते हैं। इसके साथ ही हम देखते हैं कि पिछले 24 घंटे में देश में 3,62,727 केस रिपोर्ट हुए हैं। यहाँ पर भी हम एक ट्रेंड पा रहे हैं कि देख रहे हैं कि पिछले 3 दिनों से देश में केसेस में एक प्लेटोइंग महसूस होती है। और साथ ही एक और विषय हम आप लोगों की दृष्टि में लाना चाहेंगे कि अगर हम पिछले कल का डेटा देखें तो पाते हैं कि देश ने पूरे देश में ही पहली बार हाईएस्ट नंबर ऑफ टेस्ट किए 19.83 लाख और साथ में हमारे देश में पिछले 3 दिनों से ओवरऑल केस पॉजिटिविटी में कुछ कमी पाई गई, जो कि 20% से कम अब हमारे देश में ओवरऑल पॉजिटिविटी पिछले 3 दिनों में नोट की गई है।
Another big story of the day, well, Bharat Biotech has been granted permission to conduct phase 2 and phase 3 trials of COVID vaccine, Covaxin. This is for the age group of 2 to 18 years. The expert panel of the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization recommended the conduct of the trials. The Drugs Controller General of India has accepted this recommendation of the Subject Expert Committee, the SEC. The trial will be conducted in 525 healthy volunteers. Earlier, the Subject Expert Committee of the Central Drugs Standard Control Organization deliberated upon Bharat Biotech's application seeking permission to conduct phase 2 and phase 3 trials to evaluate the safety and immunogenicity of Covaxin, which is a vaccine that is currently being used, but they want to see whether it can be used in children aged between 2 and 18 years. Now, Covaxin has been developed by Bharat Biotech in collaboration with the Indian Council of Medical Research, and this vaccine is currently being used, as we said, nationwide in the vaccination drive for the vaccination of people above the age of 18. The National Technical Advisory Group on Immunization has recommended increasing the gap between the 2 doses of Covishield, as we said, to 12 to 16 weeks. Currently, the interval between the 2 doses of Covishield is 4 to 8 weeks. Earlier in March, the centre had written to the states and union territories to increase the gap between the 2 doses of Covishield from 4 to 6 weeks to 4 to 8 weeks. The recommendations of the NTAGI will be sent to the National Expert Group on Vaccine Administration for COVID-19, and no change in dosage interval for Covaxin has been suggested by the panel. The Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare released the data of the number of consultations given under the flagship national telemedicine service, the eSanjeevani, in 1 year since the launch, that is from April 2020. So the telemedicine service has so far served over 50 lakh people in 31 states and union territories of the country. Now, according to the ministry, the telemedicine has served over 50 lakh people. As we said, Tamil Nadu is the first state to record over 10 lakh consultations on eSanjeevani, and the consultations in Tamil Nadu stand at 10,44,446. Karnataka is second with 9,36,658 consultations so far. Uttar Pradesh recorded 8,42,643. Andhra Pradesh 8,35,432. Madhya Pradesh and Gujarat have recorded over 2 lakh consultations each. Bihar, Kerala, Maharashtra, Uttarakhand reported over 1 lakh consultations each. This initiative, the eSanjeevani initiative, it's operational is across the country, 31 states and union territories, and daily around 40,000 patients across the country use this contactless, risk-free mode of healthcare services and delivery. There are 2 modules of this eSanjeevani. There is the eSanjeevani ABHWC. This is a doctor-to-doctor telemedicine platform, and it has been implemented in over 18,000 health and wellness centers. And also by December 2022, telemedicine would be operational at 1,55,000 health and wellness centers. So this is meant for health and wellness centers in over 21,000 users, including specialist doctors, community health workers, officials. They have been trained. And the other module is the eSanjeevani OPD. So this has been rolled out in 28 states and union territories, and over 350 OPDs have been set up on the eSanjeevani OPD platform. 300 of these are specialty OPDs. Also, over 30 lakh patients have been served through this eSanjeevani OPD. It's free of cost. The cumulative number of COVID-19 vaccine doses administered in the country has exceeded 17.72 crore. Under the phase 3 of the nationwide vaccination drive, a total of 17 crore 72 lakh 14,256 vaccine doses have been administered through 25 lakh 70,537 sessions as per the provisional report. 4,31,285 beneficiaries of the age group 18 to 44 years received their first dose of COVID vaccine in the last 24 hours, and cumulatively 34,80,618 across 30 states and union territories since the start of phase 3 of the vaccination drive. Meanwhile, India's total active caseload has increased to 37,10,525 today. So that comprises 15.65% of the country's total positive cases, and 3,62,727 new cases were registered in the last 24 hours. 10 states reported 72.42% of these new cases. Maharashtra reported the highest daily new cases, followed by Kerala and Karnataka. The national mortality rate currently stands at 1.09%. The union government is continuously engaged in the allocation and supply of medical equipment and medicines to the states and union territories received from different parts of the country. And the Health and Family Welfare Ministry has said that a total of 9,284 oxygen concentrators, over 7,000 oxygen cylinders, 19 oxygen generation plants, 5,933 ventilators and BiPAP machines, and more than 3,44,000 remdesivir vials have all been dispatched to the states and union territories so far. The Health Ministry said that the global aid too has been delivered to the states and union territories to strengthen and supplement their COVID response. The central government is ensuring a streamlined as well as a fast delivery of the global aid through faster customs clearances. The Union Railways has delivered tons of liquid oxygen, liquid medical oxygen that is, to various states across the country. And the first oxygen express to Chennai was on its way from Durgapur carrying oxygen containers. and that's going to ensure uninterrupted supply of oxygen for COVID-19 patients in Tamil Nadu. Oxygen Express continue to offload significant amounts of LMO in the NCR. The Oxygen Express carrying 105.81 metric tons of liquid medical oxygen from Angul in 6 tankers arrived at Faridabad. 3,817 metric tons of oxygen relief was delivered through 207 loaded tankers in Delhi, Faridabad and Gurgaon so far. And international aid continues to come in, and a consignment of 200 oxygen concentrators from Indonesia reached the Delhi airport this morning. An aircraft carrying 176 ventilators from Germany, 324 oxygen cylinders from Finland, 10 oxygen cylinders from Greece landed at the airport in Delhi. Also, Customs Department ensured speedy clearance of COVID-19 consignments for intended beneficiaries. 1,200 oxygen cylinders from British Oxygen Company arrived in the UK, from the UK. This morning it happened. External Affairs Ministry spokesperson tweeted appreciating the logistical support from Qatar Airways of this shipment. A C-17 Globemaster aircraft of the Indian Air Force flew from the Hindon Air Base on the 12th of May to Ostend near Brussels in Belgium to airlift critical life support equipment. The aircraft flew back to Hindon with a total of 30 tons of life support equipment, including 4 empty oxygen containers for India. The aircraft landed back at Hindon earlier today. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will release the 8th installment of financial benefit under the Pradhan Mantri Kisan Samman Nidhi scheme tomorrow at 11 a.m. via video conference. The Union Minister Narendra Singh Tomar in a tweet said that over 19,000 crore rupees will be transferred to over 9.5 crore beneficiary farmer families. Under the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi Yojana, the government transfers 6,000 rupees per year to small and marginal farmers into their accounts. This financial assistance from the government to farmers comes in 3 installments of 2,000 rupees each. So, all small and marginal farmers, they are eligible for a minimum income subsidy of 6,000 rupees per year under this scheme. Well, Bihar has extended the COVID-induced lockdown in the state till the 25th of May. The Chief Minister Nitish Kumar in a tweet said that the status of the lockdown implemented was reviewed on Thursday along with associate ministers and officials. The positive effect of the lockdown is visible, therefore it has been decided to extend the lockdown in Bihar for the next 10 days. That's from the 16th of May to the 25th of May. Maharashtra's lockdown, like restrictions to contain the spread of coronavirus, will remain in place for the rest of the month. The curbs have been extended from till 7 a.m. on June 1, in fact. So according to the state government order, the new restrictions include a mandatory negative RT-PCR test report for those entering the state and curbs on those arriving from places of sensitive origin. Milk collections, transport as well as processing will be allowed without restrictions, though its retail sale to be allowed subject to restrictions imposed on shops dealing with essential items or through home delivery. In case of cargo carriers, not more than 2 people will be allowed to travel in these vehicles. Shifting focus to Assam, new guidelines in urban and peri-urban areas have come into force from this morning. The Assam government decided to close all offices, that is, and all educational institutions. This will happen for 15 days from today. Chief Minister Hemanta Biswa Sarma yesterday directed the Health Department to conduct 1 lakh COVID tests daily. All shops and commercial establishments are closed till 1 p.m. daily. The weekly huts or bazaars, they are allowed only for 15. They are not allowed, in fact, they are not allowed for 15 days. However, pharmacies, hospitals, animal care centers and veterinary clinics are allowed to operate. Marriages and religious functions are allowed with the presence of a maximum of 10 people. All public transport vehicles are operating only up to 30% of seating capacity. All the educational institutions, as we said, government and non-government offices, are closed for 15 days. Only online classes will be conducted for students. In Madhya Pradesh now, an announcement by the government there of Madhya Pradesh has now brought big relief to families of COVID-19 patients as the nation continues to battle this pandemic. The Chief Minister, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, has announced a pension scheme for the families who have lost their sole breadwinner, the earnings there. According to this scheme, such families will be given a pension of 5,000 rupees each, and the education of children of these families will be made free of cost.
जिनके परिवार से पिता का साया उठ गया, कोई कमाने वाला नहीं बचा, घर में कोई कमाने वाला नहीं है, ऐसे परिवारों को 5,000 रुपया प्रति माह पेंशन दी जाएगी ताकि बच्चों को जीवन यापन के लिए परेशान ना होना पड़े। ऐसे सभी बच्चों के शिक्षा का निःशुल्क प्रबंध किया जाएगा।
The Karnataka government has announced that it would temporarily suspend the COVID vaccinations for people aged between 18 and 44 from May 14th. Now, as per the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, the state government has decided that the vaccines procured directly by the state for vaccination of persons between 18 and 44 will be utilized for vaccination of beneficiaries who are due for their second dose of vaccination. All vaccines available with the state government will be utilized for the vaccination of beneficiaries for their second dose. Meanwhile, the private hospitals can continue with the vaccinations of people in the 18 to 44 category. The Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel inaugurated the CG Tika. It's a web portal, and he said that it would make the process of registration for COVID-19 vaccinations convenient. The portal has been developed by the Chhattisgarh Infotech Promotion Society. The Chief Minister inaugurated the web portal via a video conference from his residence office in Raipur. The state government's CG Tika web portal has been developed on the basis of social and geographical conditions in the state. Israel carried out airstrikes on a residential building in central Gaza City this morning after a night of escalating violence as the fiercest hostilities in years dragged on with no end in sight. Hamas launched rocket barrages at southern Israel overnight, and the sound of rockets being shot down by Israel's Iron Dome system filled the sky, sending thousands of Israelis to shelters. Israel had renewed its airstrikes in the wee hours on the Palestinian coastal enclave, destroying a 6-story residential building in the middle of Gaza City. At least 67 people have been killed in Gaza since violence escalated on Monday. Well, nothing can justify the lynching of Jews by Arabs, and nothing can justify the lynching of Arabs by Jews. This is what the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said as the clashes between both communities continued. Netanyahu vowed to stop these violent clashes between Jewish and Arab Israelis. This is as fury and fear over shelling exchanges with Palestinian militants in Gaza ignited violence on Israel's streets. Netanyahu, speaking late on Wednesday night, said he planned to send in military forces to help police maintain order in cities ruptured by violence. The United States released the 2020 International Religious Freedom Report, which offers a comprehensive review of the state of religious freedom in nearly 200 countries and territories around the world. The U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken came down heavily on China for criminalizing religious expression and committing crimes against humanity and genocide against Muslim Uyghurs and members of other religious ethnic minority groups as well. The report further noted that for many people around the world, this right is still out of reach. Precisely 56 countries have high or severe restrictions on religious freedom, according to this report. Some sports news. In the latest ICC men's test rankings, that's cricket rankings, the ICC World Test Championship finalists, India and New Zealand, remain at the top 2 teams in the ICC men's test team rankings. This is after the annual update, which was carried out on Thursday. India gained 1 rating point and has an aggregate of 121. New Zealand is 1 point behind with 120. This is after Thursday's update, which eliminates, in fact, results from 2017 and 18. The latest update sees England overtake Australia and has now become the third, taking over the third position, and Pakistan is in number 5, Australia is number 4. And that's all the news we have for in this bulletin, but always remember to mask up and stay safe as we continue to fight against the COVID pandemic. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.